right.
I was like, what is today? Is it Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Tuesday night, right? Yeah, Tuesday night.
All right, 7 p.m. Tuesday. Like we said, we
Eastern
are live.
time. Yeah, Eastern.
My name is Rick.
I'm
This is
Andrea.
Andrea.
Yeah.
And what we do is I work with people. I work with guys every single day. She is a leader amongst human beings, especially women, and hopefully we can help you guys just get a little more insight on what it is that can help you guys grow together through some very difficult questions.
Yes.
I want to first off thank a lot of my warriors out there. We are honestly booked out for a lot. And so guys are grabbing up the earliest dates are like May 27th, May 28th. We're booked out this month with phone calls and talking with guys. Our classes are filling up. And so I'm very, very blessed and thank you for all of the support you guys are doing, but how much we're able to serve you and support you back. Thank you for being awesome, and we're hoping that we can reciprocate some of that awesomeness by giving you guys some tools and some abilities to help what you're going through now. And we're going to charge you guys. How much are we charging for this? We are doing this just to serve.
Yeah.
People pay for this. We're doing this just to try to help out people, make it so they can get through some really difficult stuff. So we're here for you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to give you guys some time. We have planned out within 2 hours. We're not trying to fill up the whole 2 hours, but if we do, because it ends up helping you, then we will.
Absolutely. And shout out to you too, because before this, everything kind of went viral and unexpectedly, to be honest, over the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks now. What you've been able to do with the men that you've been booking calls with, that have signed up to book calls. It literally 1 hour talking to this guy, you guys, I'm not kidding. So if you're a man out there that's like, I just want to have a conversation to see what this is about, book your call. Guaranteed. The men consistently say, in 45 minutes you changed my perspective on so many things. I see things clearer. I want to find out my purpose. This guy is friggin' good. He's so good at what he does, and truly a gift. So
yeah, I'm very blessed. And a lot of the follow-up calls that we do is guys are like, I went back to her, I did this thing, I took my accountability on this, I told her how I'm going to grow with her, and they're single-handedly changing their entire relationship dynamic in simply one phone call. So I'm really blessed to have like this booked out as much as it is. We've got calls all the way into June already. Yeah. So like there's still some there, but we're just happy to be able to interact with you guys right now.
Yeah, the purpose is to be able to give back and to share the knowledge that he has too. And we are, and a lot of people are like, man, I didn't think you guys would respond. We respond. So far, we've responded to every DM that has been sent asking a question about this men's program. So if you are curious, just reach out to us. It'll be either myself or him that's responding to you.
Ariel, give it another shot. I don't know what's going on. Or Ariel, PhD Ariel, just send a DM to us, or even try to figure out a way that you can get in touch with us, because I will figure it out together. We'll make it so that if you're trying to book a call and something's not working, we have to know so we can fix it. Yeah. So I'd be there for you. I just gotta know what's going on and just try and find a way. Are you answering questions? Yes, we are answering questions. So fire some questions in today. We've got some stuff that's come up that people have sent through the week, but we also want to hear from you so we can get involved in some of the stuff that's at least in my field to be able to help you. And if it's out of my field, I'll let you know, so that way we're good.
So good to hear. Country in Heart.
Country in Heart.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Boy, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you, man. It's going to be good to meet you. Yep. I'm looking forward to that. Joey, you can do it. That's true. Do what? Joey's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Joey's like, who? What?
So do what?
You guys give the best information.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
This guy has a gift. Yeah. What is this about? So
where do we start?
Well, how much time you got? No. Really, we go live to be able to give back and answer questions that you guys have about. It can be a lot of different things. Rick helps men. He's a men's expert. That is his expertise. So he does work with men directly on many different topics.
Yeah, as far as we have to clear that up, what the hell is a men's expert? It falls in line with coaching, but I'm actually certified in multiple things for what I do, whether it be in philosophy, psychology, and being able to actually work with men. Am I a doctor? I'm not a doctor, but I'm the guy who's there with you every single step of the way for the stuff that you have to work through. And truthfully, if I had to really simplify what I do, If you're in hell right now and you feel isolated and alone, I'm the guy who comes and gets you and we pull you out. Yeah. So when I'm working with my men, I know where you are in hell. I used to live there. I come and get you, pull you out so you get to be the man that you are meant to be for your wife, your girlfriend, your kids, your lifestyle, who you are meant to be for your purpose and for your drive and for what your ideas or dreams are. I'm the guy who comes and gets you. I don't send you a happy meme. I'm not doing positive mantras. We're not talking about like just say 3 I'll feel good tomorrows. I'm not talking about the sun comes out after the rain. I'm talking about if you're in hell right now, I'm the guy who comes to get you. So put your shoes on because I'll show you how to get out of here. Yeah. It's a very different thing. And so as far as what would that fall under? Legitimate coaching. I'm not selling potions. I'm not selling tonics. I'm not selling a protein shake. I come and get you out of hell, and then I build you back up to be the guy that you need to be for your people.
Absolutely. In addition to that, you end up being with a group of men, a group of warriors that at any moment you can reach out to that will have your back. And that is one thing that men are missing these days, and that's one reason that he has this program is to help men and have a place for the men to go, because as women there's a lot of places we can go.
Yeah, it was this Travis says, I've always been so stubborn to get help, and I need it, and I'm ready now, so it's not easy to ask. What I call that, Travis, I call that your armor. Whenever our guys have their armor, the world has been smashing on you for a long time, probably your whole life. And you put up this defense to try to make it so that you can just survive the day. The problem is when you build up such strong skin or such strong armor that you'll block out all of the cheap shots or the negativity or the stuff that comes your way, but you're also blocking the good stuff too. And this is what's difficult when you're wearing armor, is you're also blocking love and appreciation and the good things that do come your way. What we've built with the Warriors Way is when we work together, the first thing that we do is establish no blame, no shame, no judgment. What has happened has happened. And we give you a place to take your armor off and be authentic. The thing with the world is if you show vulnerability, it's treated as weakness. But what people do not understand is being able to have vulnerability for what it is that I need to do. I need to work with some people. I want to help on this project. I need to work through some of the demons that attack me in my heart. I need to overcome some of the pain that's been put in there since I was 6 years old. Those fights are not easy. But when you're locking shields with somebody who's doing the same fight as you will never feel stronger. It is a crazy thing. I think guys aren't realizing in society today that we have always worked together, and guys give guys something that their women can't give. The empathy and the relatability that we give each other is something our girls can't give us, and it's not right for us to expect this. It's really difficult for them because of the way that they need safety, security, and protection for themselves to understand that their rock is falling apart. Yeah. But your boy will be there for you.
Absolutely.
Your boys will be there, and they'll go, you know what? I'm with you, and I'll push forward against all of the shots you're taking. But there's got to be a place where you're allowed to go, dude, I'm hurting right now. And they go, I remember being in your spot. I'm with you. Let's go. It's seriously a real thing. And so I call it your armor. You've got to protect yourself to survive what's going on today. You are not alone. Yeah. You're not alone. Almost every guy is going through this. And that's what's crazy, is when you feel like you're alone, you're in the majority.
Absolutely.
Soak that one in. When you're alone, you're in the majority.
Absolutely. And for anyone that's looking to book a call with Rick, you can do it at the top of the bio. Just click on the link, book a call, see what's available, and we'll get you on the calendar. And, you know, my advice to the ladies is to, you know, and believe me, I wasn't always like this, but the role that I play in all of this is really to help support him and to be there for him and to encourage him. I don't nag him. I do not put him down. I build him up. And listen, we get annoyed with each other. But,
we're human.
Right, we are still human. But there is not one day where I'm not encouraging him and building him up to make him feel like he is the most important thing that I have. And for ladies, if you're not doing that, and listen, I know sometimes it can be tough. Your man needs that from you.
Yes.
He needs it. He requires it. And your man is, if you can do that for your man, he will appreciate you and do a lot of wonderful things back for you. So I just wanted to point that out. There was a couple questions that I wrote down. So from Miss Francis, how to make him do stuff without sounding horrible.
Well, first off, and this is something that you taught me, and we got 3 teenage daughters. To give you guys a little bit of feedback for like where I can, like there's a little backstory. I grew up in a very hostile environment. I grew up in Detroit. My family was very brutal as far as there was no affection. It was a very harsh environment, highly abusive physically, highly abusive emotionally. So I went through some really hard times. Guys who have PTSD, guys who have been through trauma. With that kind of stuff, that's where I grew up too. I understand what it's like to get hit with things or get hit with fists. I understand what it's like to be abused. I understand abandonment. I understand what all of those things are. With all of those things being said, with this stuff, you said you grew up in Flint? Yeah, I was near Detroit. I was in Redford. So it's like you know it's one of the subsets in Detroit. So Flint people know. As far as when you're with your woman, I can't bring Spartan talk to the conversation. So if I grew up in hostility, and I grew up in anger, and I grew up in frustration, when she comes around my family and like, hey, give me the potatoes. I'm like, oh yeah, you want the potatoes, that's fine. She's like, they're fighting.
Yeah.
She can't process that that's a normal way to communicate. But my girls, if I go hard like that, like, hey, put that down. They're like, I'm frozen solid. And we know if you come from Sparta, that level of communication, that's like 3 or 4 on the anger scale. But for them, I just hit 15.
Yeah.
I think they're freaked out by it.
Especially women that don't grow up with a man in the household like myself. Wasn't used to it, yeah.
So you do have to learn how to do a different language.
Yeah.
We're going to give you something right now that's going to change the way you guys communicate. Her role for what makes a man actually do what he needs to do, wants to do, and you want him to do. Ultimately, it comes down to both partners want the other one to do the best that they can. The way women need to do that is like Andrea just said, I encourage my man forward. Even if he does a little bit forward, keep appreciating him forward. Build up your man. If you're nagging or complaining about your man, he has way less interest in making you feel happy because you don't give a shit about what he needs. Don't nag him into submission. Build him into leadership. Yeah. Make him feel good, and he'll do 100 times more than a man that you make feel bad to do what you want.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah.
Show respect, show honor, show any kind of compassion towards what his struggles are, and build him up. I'll give you one example. Let's just say he's like, babe, I know I've let myself go. I may have gotten a little too comfortable in our security and our safety together. I know our commitment has made me feel confident that you're not going to leave, but I also stopped doing the stuff that when we got started made us attracted to each other. So I need, for myself and for us, I want to get into better shape. So his very first day doing his workout, it's going to be a tough workout for him. So let's say he does 15 push-ups, 15 squats. Very beginning. This is just starting off his workouts. If you look at him and go, that's it? That's all you did today? How many more push-ups and squats do you think he's going to want to do for you? Probably not very much, because roles reversed. If you're like, hey, I want to start doing something for you, and he goes, that's all you did today? How motivated do you feel to make them happy? But if you go like 15 push-ups, ooh,
looking strong. Yeah.
Strong. Yeah. I like that, my man. I'll do 15 more right now. You want to watch me do them? You want to watch? We remember when we were young, we wanted to impress you. We wanted to look what I can do.
Yeah.
Like we wanted to make it so that we could be like, check me out, babe. Check me out, babe. And then I got you. And then I just stopped doing like, check me out, check me out. It's like, oh, hey, you again? Mm-hmm. No, if you can make us feel that check me out, babe, will do more. On the other hand, guys, while she should be encouraging you to be the best man, because that's what we need when it comes to appreciation, what she needs from us is reassurance. When that comes from us, that comes in the way of being able to make her feel safe and secure. Yeah. For women, this is very important for her protector and her provider or her presider to be able to be a leader by being able to make her know that the lion in the house keeps her safe. Maddie, what are you doing? I see you, girl. I see you, Maddie. I miss you, even though you're going to be sassy when I get home. But guys, here's a huge thing for us, all my men. Work on you so you can be better for her to make her feel safe and secure. If you're being her safe place, she'll feel better being with you. Yeah. This doesn't mean being passive or not standing up for yourself or being abusive, or you don't have to do any hard things. Just if she needs to vent, do your best. Just listen to her. Don't try and fix shit. We already learned that. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But just let her be her for a little bit. And don't put her down either. You don't like being put down. She doesn't like being put down, especially by the person she loves the most. By the person you love the most. That person putting you down just causes a high amount of pain. Mm-hmm. That's the person you're invested in the most. The person you let the deepest inside your heart. The person who gets past all of the fences, walls, all these protection mechanisms that you have to keep yourself from getting hurt. Like Travis said, that armor that you put up, you allow this one person in, and then they do harm when they're in there. Yeah. Don't be that. Be safe for her and encourage your man. Build him up and keep her safe. You two just start with this. Are there more steps to it? Of course. But even just focusing on this one thing makes it so if she's having a tough day, don't try and fix it and give her shit. Just be safe for her. What do you need, babe? How can I make you feel all right? Mm-hmm. How can I serve you today? Doesn't mean you're her slave. Just I choose to be there for you and help you feel safe. But if he's having a tough day, encourage your man. Like, I'm proud of you for working so hard to be burnt out today. Or I love how hard you're there for me. Like, thank you for the sacrifices that you make. That's my man. Thank you for being that guy. Appreciation goes miles with us. Mm-hmm. But if you sit there ever and say, that's all he does, mm-hmm. you're not building him up. Yeah. Why would he do more? He doesn't feel like it matters.
Yeah.
I ranted.
Well, no, that was good.
Ranted.
Skip, I see your comment. Doesn't work that way in real life.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Depending on how you do this. I do this with her. She does it with me.
Yeah.
And I work with hundreds of men. If you do this right, it does work.
Yeah.
If you do it right. If you do it wrong, I was a safe place by saying shut the fuck up. Yeah. That's not a safe place. Not gonna work. She's not safe anymore. I was a safe place by punching a hole in the wall when I was angry. Yeah. Well, that doesn't make her feel safe. That's a very unstable place for her.
Yeah.
It depends on the way we approach this. Mm-hmm. But as a person who speaks Spartan, I had to learn a new language in order to communicate with her without being too aggressive.
Right. Absolutely. There's one that I just want to go back to. Kim, I saw your comment, but I think I missed it. So just post it again and we'll get to it. Let's see here. Okay, Arthur, she will tell you I don't need your help because she is independent.
Oh, as an independent woman, would you feel free to take this one?
Sure.
You don't need my help.
I am highly independent. And, as a woman, not ever being able to rely on a guy, honestly, my entire life, that was something that was very difficult for me. To be able to let my guard down and have another man step in as a leader was difficult because I've only had to rely on myself. And so I understand where she's coming from. As an independent woman, I can take care of myself. I don't need him. I choose him, and I want him to be a part of my life. we will both be fine, right? Financially, we'll be okay. Hearts broken, absolutely. So we don't want that. But I would ask her a couple more questions. If she wants that relationship, she's going to have you take the lead. And listen, there's a lot of stuff on social media right now with the women's place, right? Or where they should be, or, you know, women can do anything or whatever. If you want a relationship, you have to be compatible with the person you're in. And if she's saying, I'm independent, I don't need that, there has to be more of a conversation that's happening. What is it that she wants out of this relationship? So, anything to add?
I think you said that well.
Okay.
That was really well said.
Thank you.
Good job.
Did you see Kim's message come through? Okay.
There's a lot.
Boyfriend loves, oh yes, Kim, this is a good one. Boyfriend knows where she lives, but he doesn't know where, she doesn't know where he lives.
It depends. How long have you guys been together? If you guys have like your first month or whatever, you know, fine. But if you guys have got years in and you still don't know where he lives, what kind of trust do you guys have?
Yeah.
You know, without trust, and this is just relationship 101.
That's fair, Skip.
The first thing is trust. Like, if you don't have that, what do you have? And I'm not being sarcastic.
Yeah.
So, Kim Brown, you got 1 year in, you have no idea where he lives. Real talk, like, take an inventory on your relationship. Do you trust him? Like, really trust him. I trust you completely. If your answer is no, what do you have? Do you have communication? Well, I don't believe what you're saying, so I don't know if I have communication. Are you saying that I have respect? Well, do you really respect people you don't trust? Like, I'm asking, like, if you don't trust somebody, what do you have there? If it's sex, I mean, that's not a tough one to find these days.
Yeah.
So what do you have? We dated 10 years ago, and now I won't tell you where I live. I feel like 500 people right now will tell you what that means.
Yeah.
It's probably a red flag for something you don't want to know.
Yeah. And sometimes when you're in it, I get it. Like, you know, you don't want to face it or you don't want to look at it. But when you look at it for what it is, if you had a friend, sometimes I used to do this to myself. If I had a friend that was in the same position, what advice would I give her? And do that.
Yeah. That's actually pretty, that's a good way to look at it.
It's hard to do it.
What advice would you give your friend if she says, I've been with a guy for a year and he won't tell me where he's at. We dated 10 years ago, but now he's like super secretive about stuff. Mm-hmm. What would you tell your friend? Odds are, and this is a funny thing about us humans, we're actually pretty decent when it comes to morality on giving good advice for others.
Of course. It's much easier.
What a shit show when it's our turn to take our own advice.
So true.
He says
He said it's because his kids, but my son, who is 3, calls him dad.
It's only been a year. You're in a tough spot. Here's a recommendation for you to write down. Don't hold on to a mistake just because you made a long time, or you took a long time to make it.
Yep.
I'll say it again. Don't hold on to a mistake just because you took a long time to make it. If you're seeing your values for what you need for trust and reciprocation in a relationship not there, take a little inventory in yourself on what are my needs and what are my values, and realize, is this guy matching what I need for myself and my son, and does he match my values? But you see a lot of people right now saying he's married with kids and he's not going to let you jeopardize how he can have his cake and eat it too. Yeah. Statistically speaking, that seems the most plausible. It seems the most likely. But it seems, he says his ex is involved with the kids. I bet she is, because they probably live together, because his ex is probably not his ex. Yeah. Like, that's just statistically. Anybody who's got this much distrust in just basic things is probably hiding a lot more than you want to know.
Yeah. This guy said, married women wants to be with me, question mark. I don't feel if she wants to be with me. I'm going to tell you right now, don't do that.
Well, think about this. What if they made Clorox bleach taste delicious? Like, what if they made something that you know was poison just taste super good? don't drink poison just because you're thirsty. Right. And while it might taste good, it's going to destroy the inside of you. Yeah. If you know that messing around with a married woman it just feels like that's wrong, and golden rule that stuff. If you were married, and you knew that your wife was going to, you'd be doing harm. There's so much harm happening. Don't play with that. That's poison. That's poison. Just because it might taste good, it's going to destroy your life and another person's life because somebody's maybe not willing to get rid of that stuff. Yeah. And they're going to just bring everybody down because they may have unmet needs, but also afraid to let go of whatever their life is built around. And change is scary. Yeah. I'll tell you a fun one. Here's one. I'm gonna segue into this one. Okay. Do you know why change is terrifying? Why? Do you know why people resist letting go of their old marriage to go to a new thing, or why they resist change so much?
Nathan, we're gonna get to that. Yeah.
Every single thing that changes, every evolution, every forward change, everything is connected to loss. Give you an example. Let's say I'm at a job, and I've been to this job for 5 years or 10 years. I've been here a long time. And I get a new job offer that pays more money, but it's on the opposite side of town. If I take this job, even if it's a better work environment, a better place, more money, everything I used to do for 5 to 10 years, that drive I used to do, the coffee shop I used to go past, the people I used to say hello to, all of the things I used to do, I have to get rid of that routine in order to accept the new routine. While it might be better, I lose all of my old stuff I used to do. And people don't do well with loss. It's one of the hardest things that we deal with. So every single thing changes. Everything. It doesn't matter if it's mountains. It doesn't matter if it's a tree growing. It doesn't matter a young kid growing into an adult. Everything changes. Everything. It's destined to evolve. Over a long enough timeline, everything will change. Why the hell are we so bad at it? We subconsciously attribute change to loss. Even people upgrading their phones. But I loved my old one, even if the new one is better. There's a thing that comes in with change that people don't understand, that there's loss there. And so when you see people I am going to stay with my spouse but try and have the unmet needs I have met by somebody new, it's trying to avoid the loss of what they built before but still have the things that they want from someone else. Mm-hmm. Change is very difficult for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something to just soak that one in.
So Nathan wrote that his wife wants an open relationship for her, but not him.
Nice. Does that match your values, Nathan? Just as a human being, does this match your values that you want your wife to be able to get, essentially smashed by as many dudes as she wants? Does that match your values for loyalty? Does that match your values for your sanity? Does that match your values for commitment? If your answer is yes, then have your fun. And if the answer is no, that doesn't match what I need, and that doesn't match my values, and that doesn't match loyalty for me, what type of dynamic are you really going to be nurturing at this point? You're going to be going into that change or loss system. But there's also a conversation for what unmet needs is she expressing right now if she thinks she needs to be with someone different. And that's, if you were working with me, I would be working on you to say, what are you doing to be best for you and for her if she does feel like there's something missing? And sometimes it has nothing to do with you at all. It could just be some stuff that she's just example, think of when people who skip college see all their college friends having all this fun and they've been in a committed relationship for a long time and they feel like they're missing something fun because they're not partying like their friends are, and you watch them trash a good dude or a good girl because they want to go party with their friends, just to realize that they were messing around with people who weren't going to commit and people who were just having a good time, and they got rid of somebody who was worth it.
Yeah.
Grass always looks greener until you get over there and you realize this is a bunch of messed up weeds.
Right. And we're living in a world where it's like instant gratification, right? Like the next thing's going to be better. But one thing that I know Rick will say is that the men in his men's group that are dating, it's tough out there. It's tough out there for women and men. And, you know, I'm kind of old school, and I'm hoping that during all this, you know, as we're doing this lives, that it'll resonate with someone. Having 3 teenage girls, you know, I'm old school when it comes to, and I hate to even say old school, but I believe in morals and values, and I'm not judging anyone, but it is important for me. It's important for me to pass it on to my girls, but I do believe that is one thing that's missing with a lot of people these days, is like people are so quick to move on and jump to the next thing. Like, we're not valuing each other as people. And we're even now, as girls or teenagers, talking to them about, these are the conversations that you have. If you don't like a guy or a boy at school, you let them down easy. You don't destroy their hearts. They're still human. So I go on rants all the time. So there you go.
That's good. We appreciate it. I see you, Orange38. I see you guys. I'm glad that love language video hit you guys. And it's something that people don't really think about, because you do see, and if you look in the comments, and it was mostly females, but there's people who go like, I don't really want to be touched, but they're with somebody who needs to be touched. So I appreciate that one hits you deep, because I think a lot of us who do have touch as a love language have felt that rejection when you're like, hey, listen, even if you're with somebody, you're laying next to them, you go like, I would, you know, it's been a while, I'd like some intimacy with you. And they go, not tonight, and you're like, not tonight, You're the person I committed to be my only person. You're the person I've committed my time, which I will not get more of. You're the person I've committed my resources to. You're the person I've committed my life to. And when I say you're the one person who I've committed to be with, that you're going to say, no, I won't do that for you. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts, because the one person you've given everything you have to is rejecting you. Yep. And it doesn't mean necessarily that they hate you, because a lot of times they're just in their own thing. But not understanding how much damage that does to somebody who's a touch love language. If touch is not immediately reciprocated, it does so much harm, even inadvertently. The point to this is to make it so people who may just, listen, I don't know if I'm in that kind of mood right now, or like give a reassurance that like, I love you and I'm not trying to hurt you. Yeah. I'm not in that place at the moment. Or even more productively, teach them how to warm you up appropriately. This is one where that Melissa shit went off the rails. It's not about unconsenting sex or raping your husband or wife. It's none of that nonsense is there. If I go up and I'm like, I want to be with you, and you're like, choking me makes me not feel good. Yeah. But if you do the back rub better than choking, and then I feel more interested in being with you. But I'm like, but I want to choke your neck. You're like, not the way to do that, please. How about a more productive way for us to have an agreement of what feels better?
So let me ask you a question that's relating to that, because I see this often, or I hear about this often, even from my girlfriends as well. They don't want to have, and this can go both ways, you guys. So if a guy is trying to have sex with his wife, but there was one guy on here that's like, we haven't had sex all year.
Eek,
like,
brother.
What type of conversation needs to be had to at least open up that dynamic?
I feel like that's a fair question. What conversation needs to be had?
at the top. Anyone that wants to schedule a one-on-one with Rick, it is free to schedule a one-on-one. Click the link in the bio.
High Rise Pro, good to see you again, man. Yeah, I see you again. You were on before. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, just go to the top of the link. We are booked out for May pretty hard, but grab it up and then just kind of keep in touch with us. You can send us DMs and stuff through this. We do our best to keep up with everybody. How do you start the conversation if I haven't had sex for a year?
Yeah.
This is a couple by couple basis, and each person is different depending on what type of personality type you're with. It could be different. It's coming down to being able to commit to each other, to be able to express your unmet needs. Us guys really do. We're hungry, horny appreciation. And if somebody is missing a piece of those, it does start to make us crazy. And let's just be real. As a woman too, you being not well loved or well sexed also affects you.
It does.
And so if you're not showing affection to each other, it does cost. There's a price to this. Now, I really do struggle with that degree of being able to understand if I've committed my life to you and I'm not supposed to sleep with anyone else, I am loyal to you, but you will not stay loyal to me to stay to the vow to be able to say I will love you in sickness and in health no matter what happens. I will be the person who will be there for you, and you will be the person who will be there for me. If we're not keeping vows anymore to love you unconditionally no matter what, I will be there for you. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, I'm there for you. And you go, you know what I'm going to do? Skip physical. I'm done doing that for you. And you go, but you're the one person that I've promised I will only do physical with. And they go, not doing it anymore. Which person is breaking their vow or promise first? Just take in perspective. People have justification, which is also fascinating, justification for why it's okay to break their vow. And if that person goes, if you won't fill my needs because you don't want to, and I was to say, I'll find someone who will fill this need for me, well, you're a piece of shit for cheating on me. But you broke your vow to me. You broke a vow to be my one person. What's happening in this conversation? I'll tell you right now, I'll have the conversation with you guys. There was promises being broken. What made it so you're breaking that promise? What happened? Why don't you want to be with this man who is giving you everything? Or why does this man not want to be with a woman who's given him everything?
Right.
What is happening? What's the missing piece? Something changed. What was it?
Yeah. And we see this more with women doing this to men more than men doing this to women. And again, we're not talking about any trauma situations here.
Not rape, not abuse, not any beatings.
When the tables are turned, it's the golden rule, right? If a guy was like, you know what, I'd provide for you, I'm just not going to provide for you anymore, what would the woman's response be, right? It's the same thing. If you took vows and you're committed to this person, you have a responsibility to uphold your vows. That is my opinion. And if you can't for some reason, then there's a communication issue. Then you work through it together. You don't give up on each other and just withhold information. Or the worst thing that I see too is use it as a weapon. Don't do that. Ladies, don't do that.
It's not a weapon.
Don't do that. Try to reach out for help. Communicate those issues. Don't do that to somebody.
Yeah.
Either side.
If you're wondering whether somebody's right or wrong, just start with the golden rule. Am I okay with someone treating me this way? Yeah. And if a woman's ever saying, I don't want to sleep with you, are you okay with someone going, I don't want to sleep with you?
Yeah.
Just simple. Just keep it simple. Golden rule, this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The long distance one, I'm just going to kind of nip it in the bud just to real quick for you. I don't know if that's Ariel who said it or not. Long distance doesn't really work. There's rules to it that it's a very small percentage that actually work out. And the longer that it is that you guys have distance, the lower the percentage chance it'll work. Long distance is toxic because what happens is the more you're apart, the more your creativity or the more your imagination part of you gets fueled by fear, and you start creating the fill in the gaps as far as what's happening. So, for example, if you send her a message at 7:30 at night, you're left on red. Like, she sees your message. It shows her active until 2:30 in the morning, but not respond to you. You will fill in the gaps for what's happening from 7:30 to 2:30, and she's active, so she's awake, saw your message, and not responding. You'll create 25 scenarios of what that means. Right. And the longer that you're apart, the more your creativity and your imagination will go. You'll start making up possibilities. So by the time you actually talk to that person, male or female, you've already had 25 arguments with them. Mm-hmm. And so you're already coming in hot, like, what the hell? I saw you were active. I saw you were on. They're like, no, I worked a full day. I left my computer open. I wasn't even awake. Like, mm-hmm. Oh, I saw at 2 o'clock you were up. I'm like, I actually left it open. I didn't know. Right. That wasn't really happening. And you're like, no, you were with somebody. I already saw it in my head, and I hate you. You know, like, we're fighting make-believe. This is stuff where jealousy and these make-believe things, it's not really happening, but it's something you'll create when you have so much uncertainty, mm-hmm. and distance does that. Yeah. Distance creates too much opportunity for there to be something going on that maybe even isn't, or maybe is.
Right. Absolutely. Big Fin, reach out, click the link at the bio, see what appointments are left for May. I think we even have it through June, but definitely reach out. Even having the conversation's free. So reach out and have a conversation with this guy. If anyone is struggling, and I see there's a lot of men that are struggling in these comments, reach out. I promise you, it's a free conversation. Talking to this guy.
Big Fin, if you're really struggling, bud, try and find us on Facebook and send me a message, man. Like you and me. Like,
yeah.
I don't respond to everybody, but I'll see it's you. Just say, hey, it's Big Fin. I need some help.
Yeah.
Like, just if you're hitting rock bottom, bro, and you're drowning, send me a message, and if I can fill you in, I'll do what I can for you. Okay?
It's so bad. Yeah. Reach out for sure.
Just if you gotta find me on Facebook, Rick Yee. Just see if you can find me. I don't answer everybody because their stuff is blowing up. But if it's you and say, hey, it's Big Fin 550, try and find me on Facebook. You can either go through the Warriors way or just find me, and I'll see what I can do to fit like you in any way. I'm not saying it's immediate, but it may be tomorrow or the next day. If I can give you 30 minutes or whatever and be there for you, I'll do what I can. I make no promises, but I'll do what I can.
And also, not only Facebook, but you can reach out on TikTok as well, in the DMs as well, and then one of us will check it, and I'll make sure he gets the message, and then go from there too.
Love language aren't being met due to hormones. It's a nightmare, man. Hormones are a rough go. Here's a fun thing about hormones.
Dominic, schedule a call. Yeah.
My man. Hormones are so interesting. You know what bums me out about all of your female hormones?
Probably the same thing that bums me out about.
Probably. Why is it hormones are always shitty? Like, why isn't she's like, I'm feeling hormonal, and I'm like way too happy.
So happy.
It's the best mood I've been in ever. My hormones are out of whack, and I want to just high five everybody.
Right.
Like, why do hormones always go into just ruining everything? Yeah. And they really do. Who's that? Ryan Weaver, bro. All right. I'm gonna get back into the hormones thing in a second. I just tried my best to do a beard video today. And we just recorded it and tried to cut it, and like it did this like weird thing where I tried to time lapse part of it and it shrunk it. I did what we could. We'll redo it later, but the beard thing, guys are going in on.
Yeah, really quickly. Sorry, let me just going back to hormones. I see your question, Brown Eyed Beauty. He only works with men. So if you're a woman reaching out for a guy on his behalf, the guy has to be on the call.
Yeah, if you've got your man with you, it's the only way that I'll work with you. I don't work with women. I did it for 2 years. The way that I teach doesn't resonate with women. They need more reassurance than I offer. They need more encouragement and like whatever it is that keeps it going. It didn't work out, and it was because I talked to other women who either coach women or do therapy with women or psychologists. I've talked to other women who work with women, and they really did say hormones were a big part of the reason that things fail for women. Because I'll be real with you, when I work with women, they start strong. Like women out the gates. They're kicking ass, they're making moves, they're getting stronger, they're working on their stuff. They leave the old job, get the job they always wanted. Things start going really well for women. But something happens where, and it was explained to me by another woman, that the way hormones work is it's not like I'm going to take a break from this and then I'll come back to it later. Women will go, I'm trying to put this together, but I'm having a day, so I'm going to douse it in lighter fluid and throw a match on it. And I come to them like, hey, you were doing so well. You're doing so good. What's happening?
Yes,
and they're like, I set the thing on fire. And I'm like, it took you a year to get to the, why did you set it on fire? They're like, I don't care. I'm going back to what I used to do. And I'm like, I don't understand. You can take a break. You can stop for a moment, but just leave it be, but you didn't have to burn it.
Yeah.
And that was something that I saw it over and over again. And truthfully, and I'll be real with you, I will go into hell for my people. And I'll be there for you when you're drowning. And I'll jump in the damn water with you. And when I do that for people who, after all of the sacrifice and investment in trying to be there, just set it all on fire and look at me like your fault. Yeah. I was like, I can't invest this much of myself into that. And so I had to stop working with women. I really did, for two different reasons. One, because they start getting attached because of how much I'm invested in them, and they may start becoming attracted to me, which becomes one problem, or because they'll do what they do, and it kind of breaks my heart when I watch somebody just throw all of their potential in the garbage because they had a tough day. And it hurts my heart too much, truthfully, and she saw me kind of go through, like, I just put everything I have into somebody to watch them just throw it all down, and it sucked. It sucks that I can't do that. But whenever I work with men, the same exact thing, for whatever reason, guys, it just works. It works with the way I teach, where guys just do really well. So I was like, I gotta shift this over to where it's working, and I just work with men now.
Yep. And who is that?
Let's see.
Zilch. Yeah, there's a lot of men, and for everybody on here, like any guy that's struggling, you definitely are not alone in this. But also for the women that are on here too, our guys are hurting, and we cannot make it about ourselves and be like, well, I'm hurting too. It's not about us, right? This is a men's. Please stop doing that. Our men need help. We need our strong men back. We need our men to be leaders. We need our men to be the leaders in our families, and we need to have these strong men. These men that are young and are growing up right now, they can protect me. They're not going to protect our girls, and so our men are hurting. They need a place to go where they have other men supporting them, and they build this warrior mentality together. And ladies, if they do this together, they're going to be so much better for you. You win in the long run.
You win.
Yes.
You'll have a partner who will fight a lion for you.
Yeah.
Like, and as much as you don't want a man who's able to be strong and aggressive, like, if there is danger and you need your man to protect, you'll be thankful you have a lion with you.
Absolutely.
But stop smacking the lion when it's taking a nap.
Yeah.
Just saying. Encourage your lion.
Yes. Yeah.
Odds are you do need protection from yourself.
Sometimes you do. Yeah.
Is it possible to become a man, Arthur? Yes. That's what we do. We take guys who are not taught the right tools, we give them the right tools, and you'll see that it was in there and it's built in the whole time for you to be the man you're meant to be. But right now, society's not cultivating that. It's all girl power and girls are better than you. And you're like, I'm 10 times stronger than she is, but I'm worse. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And guys are put in a tough spot. This is kind of the bullshit that's kind of falling apart. And I'm going to say the stuff the girls don't want to hear. Here's what's happening with our guys that's kind of fucked up. If a guy who's 10 times stronger than you does anything too aggressive, he's bullied and he's a jerk, he's an asshole, he's abusive, and he's put down for being too strong. But if a guy becomes too passive and like, all right, babe, whatever, I'm not even arguing with you, I'm just going to take a step back, the bully mentality goes even higher from the female side, and now he's a bitch or a pussy or a sissy and doesn't hold his own and becomes less attractive for not being too aggressive. So there's only this small little sliver of area where this guy's allowed to be cool. But what's weird with this sliver is it's always fucking moving. And so there's no way for a guy to be, he can't be too strong because him showing his strength, he's a piece of shit. But he can't be too weak because if he's too weak or too passive, he's a bitch. There's no win for us guys. And that small area where he gets it right, it's like shooting a moving target. And it's very difficult for guys to be able to stay strong, lead, stoic, use his potential, be the best man he can be, when there's no way for him to be able to be heard or respected, because no matter what he does, he loses.
Yeah.
Societally, this is not going to last long, guys. And it's only through our generation, because women are already realizing, I'm fucking up my son, I'm fucking up my nephew, I'm fucking up my man. Oh, I'm saying fuck too many times. Is that too many fucks?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm giving too many.
I'm all for it. I don't know.
Well, we're authentic here. These people are going through some real stuff. I just don't know
what the TikTok rules are. So
I don't know.
No one ban us.
but as far as it goes, there's people going through real pain who are strong, who are good, who are leaders. And I'm telling you right now, and here's where you ladies have it wrong. There are great guys out there.
Yes.
And guys who want to be great for you.
Yeah.
They want to be good to you. They want you to be happy. They want you to be able to grow in your own. They want to support you, and they want to be supported. There's good guys out there. There's good ones.
Yep.
And they get treated just like the bad ones.
Yep.
If you treat a good guy like a bad guy, what do you think he should be? It's kind of like if you're a loyal person who's called a cheater all the time. How many times can I say you're disloyal before you go, what am I being loyal for?
Yeah.
Don't treat good guys bad and then expect them to be good.
Yeah.
Our guys are being, like, there's good guys. And this is it's so frustrating to watch. There's bad guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
But not all of them. It's actually not even a majority. It's a smaller percentage of guys that are terrible guys. Most guys, that majority middle area of decent guys, gets treated like bad guys because there's some bad guys out there.
Yeah.
And sometimes good guys who are hurt are labeled as bad guys. It's one of those things where if a guy's got a broken heart, you just say he's lazy. No, he just had his heart ripped out of his chest. He can't get to see his kids. Even if he's a good guy, the court system ripped him apart. Well, what a deadbeat dad. He's like, I actually want to see my kids. Yeah. I want to be a good dad. Like, well, you only get to see them every 2 weeks. I've got guys who literally break in half when they're talking to me because they can't see their kids. There are good men out there being treated like bad men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Jaden, sometimes it does. Sometimes it takes being in a bad relationship to make you appreciate or understand like what a good man is.
Talk about it. Preach.
Yeah.
Preach.
Yeah. I'm aware.
I'm
aware. And listen, you guys, if you guys would have known me, gosh, 10 years ago or even 8 years ago, I was not the woman that was like pro men, really. I mean, I liked men, but I was not interested. I thought they were all jerks, cheaters, all of that, because I had labeled every man based on who I was with at the time, and I called every guy the same. They're not all the same. This guy has done a great job showing me that they're not all the same. But it's very easy. I understand that part of women, like every guy's awful. They're not. You're just looking in the wrong spots, or you're the way you're choosing is a little bit off.
Your interview process
interview process
might be really
yeah.
rough.
used to not be right.
I see a lot of people. And a Jeep Girl's Journey, go ahead and ask your question. We're looking for it. It's funny when you see the interview process that women do. And we talked about it even in one of the videos about, like, if you only base good guys on guys who will interrupt your day, you're missing out on a lot of good dudes by basing it on the guys who take their shots on everybody. It's a very small percentage of guys who are that guy.
Yeah. Red says, off subject, if you're not attracted to them yet, they are a good man. Is there any chance?
Depends on what it is. Work on yourself. Don't try and be what they think that you should be. Work on being just your best you. And if you're with somebody who doesn't see that you have a fight for your own excellence and a fight for your potential or your mission or whatever it is, just keep working on you and don't waste your time with somebody who won't appreciate you, because it doesn't get better over time. Keep working on you and don't try and change for somebody who can't see it.
Okay, this one's good by King.
Look at the top one with the Jeep Girl one. She said she was going to ask a question. You see this one right here? What's your page is in the way.
What is your recommendation to help someone that their primary love language is physical touch?
What is a recommendation to help somebody?
Yeah.
I mean, whenever somebody has a love language, it's a communication part to be able to express, this is one of my needs.
Yeah.
The problem that people have in a lot of their relationships is that people don't know what they don't know. And so it's hard for you to be able to fulfill somebody's needs if you have no idea what they are. A lot of these relationships that you see where people are pulling away, it's not because they're trying to hurt you. It's because they don't realize it hurts you, because they're only thinking about their own needs. And so if you're able to communicate, these are the things that are important to me, and now that they know, it changes the perspective from going, I didn't realize I was doing that, to now I'm aware that this is a decision that I have to make, whether I reciprocate love to you or I withhold it from you. And if somebody is knowingly doing harm when they absolutely are sure, I know that this is what you need. And this goes both ways. If someone's like, hey, I need you to hang out with me because quality time is important, and you go, I don't like hanging out with you, it's the same thing. Yeah. If somebody knows what you need and chooses to not do it, now you have to assess your value. You have to assess what your morals or your needs are. And if you're going to be with somebody who knows what they are and will still not do them, the choice kind of becomes more simplified. Stay with somebody who will never match your needs or your values and put years into it. Mm-hmm. Or this isn't going to work. I'm trying to fit, a square peg in a circle hole. It's just not fitting. Mm-hmm. I need to find somebody who matches my values. Right. I'm not saying you have to break up with everybody. I'm just saying just make sure you guys match up, which means improve your interview process. Ask more than, so do you have reliable transportation? And they're like, no. And you're like, you got the job.
I think there needs to be a worksheet or like a piece of paper for people. I know I could use this, where it's like the interview process when you meet someone. I mean, you're not going to go down the list and like boom, boom, like hit everybody with questions, but like, here are some of the questions that we should be asking before we get into a relationship, because I feel like sometimes we just dive in and then we ask the questions. Mm-hmm. Just a thought.
Listen, I'll put some questions for you together. Isaiah the Outlaw. My name is Rick. My last name is Yee. Y-E-E. It's Asian. So look me up, Rick Yee. I look like a barbarian on the front. It's got a C.S. Lewis quote on the front of my page. It says that he is not safe, but he is good. Yeah. And so you'll see me on there. I'm not wearing sleeves and I'm looking angry. But there's a Viking hidden inside of here that you guys don't see.
Yeah, a lot of people do dive in before asking questions. Okay,
you see, Arthur gets it. Haha, I got the job. It really is. You see girls go like this. All right, so what's your thing? I'm going to be real aggressive. I'm not going to show up on time ever. I'm going to have you do all the work. I'm going to try and sleep with all your friends. I'm going to really not pitch in on the bills. I don't have a car, so I'm probably going to fuck yours all up. And then I'm kind of going to just be mean to your kids. And, I'll probably just drink a lot and kind of ruin your life. And women are like, okay, well, when can you start? Let's put like 10 years into this. And then when it goes exactly like his resume, they're like, How come I always find the bad guys? It's like, you probably shouldn't have hired that one. That one, he told you all the stuff he was going to do, and then you get mad that he does exactly what he said.
I feel like we've all been there. I think that's so relatable. That's so relatable.
But he was cool. Like, really? So your whole criteria for all of that stuff was like he had tattoos.
He was fun.
Or he was funny.
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
He was cute. He was attractive. We all know.
He was hot. Good job. Good job.
So I want to answer King's question, or have you answer King's question. He says, because we were just having this conversation today, he says nice things to his girlfriend, but sometimes she takes it as negative, but he never means it badly.
Say it again. He takes it negative and never
yeah.
Say it one more time.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I'm very
so
clear.
He says nice things to his girlfriend, but she takes it as negative, and he's like, I don't mean it to sound bad.
All right, so you're running into her belief system. This is where I call this the filters, and this can go for anything. It can go for politics. It can go for racism. It can go for just the way people are dressed. Like, people put on a filter, and it alters with their belief system what's happening. So if you say you look really beautiful, but her filter says I don't believe I'm beautiful, she'll go, you're just making fun of me. Why are you trying to be mean? And you go, I was authentically complimenting you. But her filter says that's not authentic because I don't believe it. And so she's going to add in a piece to change it. I had a guy who he was struggling through dyslexia and felt like he was very stupid. But the guy is a high intelligence man. He just struggles with the understanding of the reading part, but his comprehension is very high. And he had a science teacher tell him, you're one of the brightest students I've ever had. Because of his belief system and the way that he sees it, he altered that to, you just feel sorry for me because I'm stupid, so you're just telling me something nice. When somebody has a belief system that doesn't match your authenticity, they will turn it into something different. Odds are you're running into something she's struggling with from her past. Some sort of inadequacy or something where she feels like she's compared herself to others and doesn't measure up. And now when you tell her something that goes against the narrative, she's going to create some way to match the pieces to fit her belief system. Without her rewiring that, your compliments will seem like insults. Without her rewiring that belief system, whenever you try to be good to her, she'll say you're actually being bad to me. And it's a very confusing game because you can't help her. She has to get help to be able to receive what you're saying. And it's really, really difficult. Abused by her ex-husband. The thing is if you're with someone with a shattered heart, they have to heal that past stuff. But she's not with the ex-husband anymore, and that means she has to also accept that you're not him. Just like your past can't be her. She has to work on her healing, and that's period. And you're not the hero. I'm sorry, guys and girls. You're not saving anybody. They have to work on this without you. Yeah. There is a codependency that happens when you're the rescuer. It doesn't work. Once the thing changes and the dynamic evolves, your role in the relationship is no longer necessary, and you'll fall out of love because you're not needed for what you used to do. They need help from like a professional. Mm-hmm. It could be therapy, it could be counseling, it could be someone like me, it could be whatever. They need help to heal and let go of the old stuff. It is not up to you. Mm-hmm. Just saying. There's a lot there, I know.
Yeah. There was, it was Trucker Dylan.
Trucker Dylan? My dude.
How do you move on after divorce? And it kind of ties into what you were just talking about, like healing.
All right. Trucker Dylan, not enough info for me to really give you a very specific answer because everybody's divorce is going to be loss in a different way. Loss of all of your commitments, loss of a dream, loss of a life that you wanted with somebody, and there was a whole bunch of pieces that you invested into this dream that all fell apart. And so everything that you gave, everything that you were, everything that you are didn't measure up for one shape, perform whatever, whether it be to them or them to you. Something didn't measure up and you lost it. It's all gone. And that loss puts you into denial, puts you through bargaining, puts you through anger, puts you through depression, and you bounce back and forth with these emotions. You're going to go back and forth. This isn't happening. I can't believe I lost everything. I can't believe it. And then you'll go into that fucking bitch. I would punch through something. And then you'll go into, but I'm obviously not good enough. And what's the point? Nobody will ever love me. And then you'll go into, well, maybe if I just get one more chance. Maybe if I just get one more chance, I can show her. I can show her I'll be better. We go back and forth through our loss system, all through these emotions. And it drives us crazy. The race is to get to acceptance. You have to go through each one of the emotions to get to, that happened. What can I learn from it so I can treat the next person better? And then I have to learn to let go of what I'm holding on to in order to really give a full heart to the next person and not show up with just broken pieces and expect them to understand what to do with it. Mm-hmm. It's more complicated than that, but that's the very surface answer. When I'm working with somebody, we go into the actual pieces and then work on it. Mm-hmm. It's a different thing.
There's a lot of comments about other partners. Like one is, how do you help someone with body dysmorphia? There's another one.
Body dysmorphia one is really difficult because it's all part of their belief systems, and to reprogram somebody's belief system is hard. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be something I could answer on this because it's too complicated. It's at the very core, beginning and end of the way all of our thoughts is in our belief system. And so someone with body dysmorphia has to go through a process that's going to be more complicated than I can explain on a live video. Mm-hmm. When I work with guys, I've got one guy who has extreme body dysmorphia, and we had to really renovate his old belief system out and then build him up to understand his values. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of work, but it can be done. It's just too complicated to explain on a live like this.
Mm-hmm. Someone asked, how do you establish boundaries? And they also said, when someone isn't emotionally intelligent, but can you answer the question just even without that? I think, how do you establish healthy boundaries?
First, you have to know what they are. This is where people mess up. I'll tell you right now. People don't know what their values are or what their needs are. This puts your relationship, here's your newlywed one. If you don't know your values and you don't know your needs, how the hell is the other person supposed to know what they are? And so here's the game. I'm going to explain to you just a scenario. Two people go into a dynamic and they want to give their best love to each other. You start off with love languages, you start off doing your needs, you start off doing the things to like really serve them the best that you can. And what people do is show up and give their best love to the other person. That doesn't mean the other person's love is the same. So let's say I'm acts of service and I clean the house, or I make the bed and I take out the garbage and I go pick up the girls from school and I go and do all of these things, but she's touch. I am loving the hell out of you. I'm sacrificing my time, my energy, my gas, my resources. I'm sacrificing like crazy. I'm giving and giving and giving. And she's going, why don't you ever hold me? You don't love me. And the other way around. I'm like, but I'm doing all these things and you don't do shit around here. I do all the work around here and you're not doing anything. You don't love me. And she's like, I want to hold you every night. Yeah. I want to hold your hand when we're walking. I want to be the one who touches you. I want to be intimate with you. I'm like, look around the house. I do all the chores. Mm-hmm. You don't do shit. She's like, but you're not even having sex with me and we're not even being intimate. You're not even holding my hand and we don't cuddle. Mm-hmm. You show up with the way you want to be loved. And if the other person doesn't understand it, you're going to feel like your love isn't good, even though you're giving the best love you can give. Yeah. It's going to be so painful because now you feel like you're not good enough just because you didn't understand what fills their cup and then how to express what fills yours. And if you don't know the answer, what happens is you just keep guessing. let me try to figure it out for you. Let me try and guess, does this make you happy? Does this make you happy? Does this make you happy? Like, if you're trying to guess and they don't know the answer, you're gonna feel like you're not good enough because you're just guessing at something that they don't know is right. So if she's like, hey, I tried to love you, and I'm like, not the way I like it, try again. Okay, how about this way? That's not it either. That's not how I like it. Try again. How about if I do this to show you love? And I'm like, that's not it either. You're just not good at love. Okay, well, let me try this. No, you suck at this. You're a terrible lover. And all she's trying to do is figure out what it is, but I haven't told her what I want.
Yeah.
Like if we were ordering a drink, for example, what would you like to drink? And you're like, I don't know. What are my options? And you're like, out of all the drinks in the world, do you want water? No. Do you want soda? No. Do you want, I don't know, Long Island iced tea? I hate those. All right. Do you want orange juice? No.
Yeah.
Do you want, I don't know, beer?
Yeah.
No. You can go forever. But if that person just says, hey, could you get me, I don't know, a Sprite or like, you know, high pH water or something with lemon. Like, if you know what you want, well, then that person will go, well, of course I'll get you that thing. Like, it makes it easier if you know what you want. But if you haven't done the work to identify who you are and what you want, your values, your needs, if you have no idea and you expect them to just figure it out, you're destined to just fail. How's it going to work? It won't work for you. It won't work for them.
Yeah.
That's a long answer to that. These are deep questions. Let me just be real. You guys are in some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, heart out to you guys. These are difficult things. And
For
hopefully any one of these things can help you go, well, shit, I didn't look at it that way. These are hard. These are very hard. Age gap thoughts, please. I don't know what, Orange 68, what are you talking about? Age gap thought between us? I don't know, a year?
No.
2 years? What are you talking
I
about?
don't think they're asking about us.
I don't know what you're talking about. Age gap what? I see some people putting some stuff up, and we're missing a lot. I'm sure you're reading. I'm just
Husband had an emotional affair with a coworker. I'm struggling to heal. We're in therapy. Good. That's good.
Yeah.
There's one comment that came in too talking about it's
She's 30. I'm 49. 20 year gap. 19 year gap. I mean, if you're 30 and if she's 30, you're 49. It just comes down to maturity at that point. Some people at 30 will connect well at 49. If you're a good, healthy provider and presider for her, and she feels safe with you, and you guys are filling each other's needs, the age gap doesn't matter at that point. Now, if it's the same 19-year age gap and you're 20, we're gonna have that's weird. If you're 30 and she's 12, not good. That's bad. So like when you're 30 and she's 49 to 30. Completely appropriate, as long as you guys match up.
Yeah, as long as you match. Yeah.
Big fan. That's my boy. Beard loves you, bro.
Yeah. And I see I saw a comment regarding, like, we have different love language. It's the worst. And one thing I want to say, it's not the worst. It just is. Do you compliment, or are you able to speak the other person's love language? It's effort when they don't line up. We get that. But if you love the person, you'll continue to learn and try new things that way you're speaking the other person's love language, and they should be doing the same back.
Just put some effort in.
Golden rule.
Just try. Just try your best. If you know they like it, give it a shot. You know?
Yeah.
Just because somebody likes something doesn't mean you like it, but it doesn't mean like I'd stop her if she likes something. I'll do my best to do it with you. I'll support you.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite thing, but I'll do it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes effort. You got to make a choice if you're going to do it or not. But I mean, there's some things that are non-negotiables, and some things that's an easy compromise.
Yeah. Okay, Ray DP. This one we had a lot of conversations today, you and I.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you see it?
My boy, you want
my wife loves to interrupt during. Has I interrupted you?
Go ahead. Baby.
Loves to interrupt during conversations. I lost it.
She interrupts, like, how do they make it so they don't interrupt? And odds are, truthfully, a lot of times you both interrupt each other because you're not being heard. This is a life-changing thing I'm about to tell you guys. This is worth $1,000 by itself, just this one thing I'm about to break down to you guys. When people are interrupting, odds are you're going to see one of two things happen. Either somebody will get louder, and when you're getting louder, if you think you're a great communicator and somebody's getting louder, that's one indicator that somebody does not feel heard. On the other hand, if somebody gets quiet and shuts down, that's also an indicator that somebody's not being heard. If people start doing either yelling or shutting down and stop talking, it's because you're not listening. Now, this is where the tools to listen have to come in. How do I get better at listening when I have so much to say? Right? Especially ladies. How do you do it? How do you do it? When somebody is talking and you really want to respect and listen to what they have to say, get out your notebook. If she's going to talk to me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to her and write down everything that she says. Only time I interrupt is if I say, can you please slow down so I don't miss this? It's important what you're saying. And I keep letting her go without interruption, no matter how far it goes. Sometimes it's a long rant. Eventually, both people will hit a point where they're like, I'm good. I said it. I mean, that's all I got. That's it. When you do that, it's important for both of you to take your turns. Now, here's where it gets wild. Ladies, when your guy tells you what he says, word for word, what he means is exactly what he said, word for word. Don't add your feelings to it. Don't add what a past relationship said to it. Don't say that sounds like something I saw before. What he's saying is what he's actually meaning. Yeah. Now, guys, when you write what she wrote or what she said word for word, it is not what she meant. So you have to go through and go, what did you mean by this? And she will give you an answer for what her intentions were for what she said, no matter what it was. And when she tells you what her intentions were for what she said, the second thing is what she actually meant, not the first thing. So don't hold on to the first thing that was said, because the second thing is really the thing that she means by it, even if it has nothing to do with the first thing. If you understand this, it will end a million fights for you. Just first listen and let them be heard, and then let them listen and you be heard. What the guy says is really what he means, and what she says, find out what she really means. You guys will stop fighting and stop holding on to, well, you said. That's not what she meant. And if you start adding to what he said, that's not what he meant. What he said is what he said, and what she said means what she means.
Right.
You learn this. You stop fighting so damn much. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, simple, right? That's pretty simple. Write it down. Repeat it back.
Don't interrupt.
Don't interrupt.
So easy.
So easy. This is hard as hell.
It's so hard.
It's hard as hell. You have been trained for years and years and years to have reactions, not responses. You're going to just trigger and jump in. No. That's not right. That's not what I said. No. Like, you're going to be triggered to get angry or feel unheard or get louder or shut down. Just listen. Just listen. Don't push. Don't interrupt. Just listen. Write down what they're saying. Even if it's absolute madness, you just write it down and then go, what did you mean by that? That's it. Mm-hmm. It's so simple, and it's hard as hell. Anyways, okay, yeah. That right there is $1 million. That's $1 million right there.
Yeah.
$1 million. Hey, Rick, meet Linda, LOL. Appreciate you, brother.
Oh, that must be
Kentworth. Yeah, that's my boy. Yeah. Yes, Omar. That's my guy.
Oh, nice.
That's Omar. I love
Omar.
That's my dude. I'm so proud of Omar. I'm so proud. We just talked if you did. I'm proud of you. Super
he really
proud
is.
of you, bro.
He really,
I was
really
bragging
is.
on you the other day. Proud of you,
man. There's a couple comments. I know a lot of people are jumping on it, so I don't think we have to address it, but, well, I'll just say it out loud, just so it's very clear. Someone was talking about, is it okay if someone hits you when they get mad? No. And I think you probably know the answer to that. Absolutely not. Never. Is it okay?
It's not a safe environment both ways. And also, ladies, let me just say the things that the guys are thinking.
Hi, Linda.
Ladies, if you're hitting your guy and your only shield is that men shouldn't hit you back, you're going to kill your shield. It's just societally, the whole thing for equality. If you want to be treated equal, if you hit somebody, equal means they hit you back. But I'm going to tell you right now, as a man, if I hit her, it's not equal. So stop hitting people unless you want to be hit.
Yeah.
Golden rule, guys. Don't hit people unless you want to be hit. But if you want equality and then you set a precedent based on special privileges, you're going to kill your special privileges. So don't hit your guy, because if he hits you back, it's a lot worse. So please stop doing that. Don't hit each other. Don't hit each other. If you're trying to hit, it just shows you're not a good communicator. Get better at using your words instead of having to hit each other.
Well said, Curtis. Absolutely.
You should never raise your hand to any partner, male or female,
Absolutely.
period. It's just a precedent. If you really, if you want to fight, like if you want to set it up, like let's put the gloves on, I consent, you consent, let's see who's going to do it. Then then you're ready to go. You guys are both like, I agree. Put your mouth guards in and just give each other a couple good ones. If that helps you guys, fulfill a need, great. But if you don't want to get punched real hard by your partner, don't hit anybody.
Don't do that.
Stop hitting people.
Let's not do that.
You don't want a fair fight on this one. It's not a fair fight.
Okay, my husband is bitter and angry with me because she said I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because he works and I'm stay-at-home mom, but he says he can't do what I do. I don't know what the question is.
Yeah, it's not a question. Let's see.
It's a question.
And I know. Let's see. This is Wiz Khalifa. Yeah. All right. So. I know that this is difficult because of how much characters you're allowed to fit in. So I see you guys really trying to pack like your questions into only like 100 characters or whatever it gives you. So see if you can. I understand like the wife and you guys have anger and resentment. Usually means there's either injustice or something has been taken from you guys to make you feel like something's wrong. But I probably need the question asked a little differently to help.
Oversized. Wait, hold on a second. This one.
Go ahead.
Of course, Lorenzo Family Deals. If you guys aren't following him, follow him. He has incredible.
Lorenzo.
This one always gets me. Lorenzo. He always has great deals. So he's like, boxing gloves are on clearance at Walmart.
My boy Lorenzo.
Coming through. Always prepared.
There
I love
it.
Lorenzo. You're like the Rick of deals.
My man Lorenzo. Follow that guy.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, I love it.
That's funny. Do you believe in soulmates? I believe that it's possible for soulmates. I also believe that you can be authentically, truly happy with somebody who you guys can grow with. I don't think that necessarily you need to be out there searching for soulmates because you're going to be trying to put a label on somebody who's not really a match because you're looking for that fairy tale. Has it happened or does it exist? Yes, I believe it does. But can you be truly, authentically happy with somebody who's committed to you and you're committed to them to grow together? I believe also yes.
Yeah. How do you establish boundaries? I know we talked about this earlier, but the specific question is without it coming off as an ultimatum.
All right. Ultimatums are not healthy. Like, unless you're fully prepared. And when you look at an ultimatum, ultimately what it really means is I'm creating a choice. It's a end of the fork. You can't keep doing behaviors choice. We can't keep doing it this way because it may not be fitting your needs. It may not be fitting your values. And ultimately, I need this fixed or I need this thing. Ultimatums on their own, though, are generally unhealthy. It means there's not good communication on both sides. And if you have to say, I am putting a hard force on you doing something for me, it only creates stress and anxiety. It doesn't feel authentic. It's not growing together. It's not accepting each other. There's a lot of issues that come with ultimatums. And if you can't accept somebody and they don't match your needs or values, I think that by the time you get to ultimatums and you're already prepared with an ultimatum to leave, you probably answered your own question by now. Because if they said, I can't do what your request or your demand in this case is, I can't do what your demand is, and you're like, well, then I'm out. What was the point of the ultimatum other than to have them feel bad because they chose to not do your ultimatum? So looks like their loss. You're killing the relationship either way. Better communication, more listening, more understanding each other. And if you're using ultimatums, it's because you're ready for the relationship to die already. So healthily leave. That's it. Leave healthy. Don't hurt them if you guys don't match. They're not getting needs met either. So just in a healthy way, say, I don't know if we're really a match, and we may have to call this one quits, so we both have time to be able to still find somebody who is a match. You can and I can. That's healthy. It's still loss and it still hurts and it can still feel like rejection. Mm-hmm. But an ultimatum is really just if I said, you either do this or we're done. And you're like, I don't want to do that thing though. And I'm like, looks like you chose done on you. You're like, I didn't even want to have that conversation. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's on me. I killed the relationship because you created an ultimatum. It's not healthy.
No.
It's not healthy.
My spouse wants me to hurry up my therapy or she's planning to leave.
Say it again.
His spouse wants him to hurry up in therapy or she's planning to leave. So basically what you're saying is...
So she created an ultimatum. Let me just say what I just said again. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
If anybody's making a threat, does that match your needs? Is that the type of reassurance that you need? Mm-hmm. And this goes both ways. If a woman was saying, I need to work through this thing, and the guy's like, hurry up or I'm out of here, is that the kind of guy you want to be with? Or right. Is she the kind of woman that you want to be with?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it sounds so simple, but it's not easy to do this because I don't know how long the investment is. But if you're like, I have to work on me, and the other person's like, I'm not going to support you through this, what happens when you guys are in some real shit?
Yeah. Here's one. Tips on his wife, this could be either gender, sure. Is holding on to the victim mindset now that a counselor has convinced her of.
Now that a counselor has convinced her
of being the victim, so she's holding on to that.
There's bad counselors, and there's bad coaches, and there's people who will give terrible advice. And even if people mean well, they're going to do more harm than good sometimes. And I don't really see a value in convincing somebody that they're the victim when the only way they can heal is through themselves. That's going to put you in a really difficult choice. Like a really hard choice, a very difficult one, because now somebody has a credential to create an identity and somebody that has no hope. That's a very heavy sentence right there. Somebody who's an authority or a credential, it's nice. Somebody who has, I have certifications or a degree or whatever, has just convinced somebody that they're not able to heal. What do you do when that identity becomes who they are and now they have validation to not heal, and now you have to be there with somebody who's like, nope, this happened to me and this is who I am. You now are destroying your relationship based on, creating the belief system that you are someone who can't be healed. And people use words to not heal. They use things like PTSD or I have past trauma, and they hold on to the identity that because of these things that have happened, I can't be better. These things are not true. As somebody who's gone through PTSD, as somebody who's gone through trauma and helped multiple people out of all kinds of terrible, terrible things that have been done to them, abandonment, abuse, beatings, through just pure ripping their soul out of their chest, through very hard, like war times and very hard things. You do not have to be the trauma. I've worked with rape victims. I've worked with people who are highly abused and beaten and left for dead. You do not have to be the event. But if you have somebody with credential who convinces you you are the event, they cannot heal because their identity is the event. And you're going to be in a really tough spot because you're with somebody who their belief system says, I can't get better, and you have to accept me for somebody who can't get better, but I'll never be able to meet your needs because I can't get better. And it's justified, and you may even feel like the bad guy for leaving somebody whose belief system is, I'm the victim. But you will also not have your needs met also, and that's a difficult decision on whether you stay or you go through that type of ordeal. It's not fun. That is not a fun one at all. It's sad but true. You know, Amato, he sees it, or she sees it, I don't know who it is. It's sad. It's sad, but it's really true. It's not a fun scenario on either side. The person who's going through that type of depression, and the person who has to be they essentially really do become the victim of that depression.
And I just want to remind all the guys that are in here, if you're struggling and you need some advice, you can click on the link at the top. It's free to book a call. It's a 45-minute call with Rick. So definitely do that if you want to see, you want to vent some stuff out or talk through some things.
Chris and Morris. Someone who has a hard time trusting and holds on to, I think, PTSD and anxiety. Hold on to my past hurts, PTSD, and depression, anxiety. Yeah, you're not alone, man. I'm going to tell you right now, we've beaten these things. It takes stages, though. How do you forgive something you can't forget? You choose to forgive, Omar. We'll talk about that one later. It's just a choice. But I know that Chris and Morris. I'm also the wife. Okay, so the wife is saying it. She's gone through her own stuff, and she's holding on to her own depressions. The real answer is it's not a simple answer. There are stages, especially to depression, that it's not like just stop being depressed. It's more like, I use the analogy of a backpack. Like we have our backpack that we hold on, and this is where we hold all of our things in. This is where we hold our love and our good stuff, but we also hold our trauma and our pain and our hurt. And some people wake up in the morning with a 200-pound backpack on, or like a backpack so heavy that they can barely even move, and they'll put all of the effort that they have into just taking a few steps to get to the bathroom, and then getting to the kitchen, they're just smoked because they're holding more than their body weight on their back. And people will look at you and go, you only got to the kitchen? And you're like, I don't think you understand. It took every ounce of energy I had to get to the kitchen, and I am fucking exhausted. And people go, going to the kitchen? I went to work today. I went and did stuff, and you just went to the kitchen and you're tired? What a loser, or you're pathetic. And they start judging and blaming and shaming. And people are like, how do I stop my backpack from being so heavy? When you have a backpack like this, you can't just take your backpack off because it also has all your good stuff in it. What you need to do is get in and take one thing out at a time and lessen the weight. And it takes time. You got to go like, this thing, do you need this or not need this? And like, that was when I got beaten. You're like, you don't need that. What about this? Well, that's when somebody left me and it hurt. You're like, we don't need that. What about this one? Well, that's when somebody rejected me and it tore me up. You're like, you don't need that. And you got to take all these things out. And then after a while, you're like, oh my God, I can no problem do some of these things. But it takes time to take each thing out. And it's not a meme that does it. It's not a happy mantra. It's not a funny story. And it's not a movie. It's real work and learning new tools and new coping mechanisms and new ways to be able to accept yourself or forgive or whatever it may be. But that's so deep to get into that, like, it takes real work and somebody who's really willing to do the work with you. For all of you spouses out there, the sad thing is it's very, very rare, like 1% rare, that you can actually be the person to help them. They're going to need help from somebody who knows how to empty out the backpack safely and professionally and in a healthy way. Otherwise, you may open up Pandora's box and not know how to deal with what comes out. There's a lot of tools that you need, and it gets pretty hard. It gets really hard.
This one, I believe it's a woman. I want my own bedroom. Don't know how to approach that subject with my husband.
Oh, you want to sleep in a separate bedroom? I don't know if I can answer that one in a way that's going to be productive.
Maybe
it feels like I may actually.
Try.
All right, you give it a shot.
Let me try. First of all, I guess the question would be, what is the purpose, and where do you see your relationship going in the future? What's the reason? And also, is there somebody else? I'll just call it what it is.
You're going straight there.
Why is this a thing? Why is this a thing?
You want your space.
So, no, you're not seeing so perfect. Okay, good.
But if you want your space from the one, like this guy, there are unmet needs. Do you know what you need that you're not getting? I want to have a clean room, so he's just too messy for you. You want a clean room. And you guys can't compromise on what a good balance for cleaning is, right? Odds are, and I'm just going to throw it out there, you've been bitching at him for a long time, and he's just not doing what you're bitching about. Does that sound accurate? 26 years of marriage. So for 26 years, you've been complaining about his stuff, and he's not doing shit. So
are you saying yes? That's right.
Yeah.
Listen, 26 years of marriage is a long time.
It is a long time.
Yeah, people get annoying sometimes, but yeah, go ahead.
When you complain, we do less. Just as men, I'm gonna let all you girls know. The more you complain, the less we want to do. We want you happy, but if even when we do something to make you happy, it's not good enough, why would we try more?
Yeah.
And I think that goes for women also. If you were trying to make a guy happy and he's like, that's it, like, why do you really want to put the effort in?
Yeah.
So first off, bitching and complaining makes everyone do less. That's just kind of across the board. So if your strategy is I'm going to complain him into submission, it's not going to work. It just won't. There seems like there could be a degree of enabling where you're just getting sick of it. I'd have to ask if it's something where you do the cleaning and he doesn't have to be responsible, or there's no agreement, which most likely seems like. Do you have an agreement?
Oh, look at that. That was awesome.
That was a little fun. Do you have an agreement to be able to say, I take care of this part and he takes care of this part? I want to go to sleep in an organized room after a long day. Fair, that's what your standard is. Do you guys have an agreement for the room? Like, I'll do this part, you do this part, and he's like, I agree. And you both agree with each other. I have 2 jobs, and he's a soldier. I hear you. You're both strong, hardworking people. Do you guys have agreements? Do you have agreements that I do this job, you do this job? Because if there's no agreement, all right, if there's no agreement, what is he supposed to do that he didn't agree to? Now you're fighting an expectation. If I expect her to do something that I want her to do, but she didn't agree to do it, there's a difference between making a demand and making a request. Do you know the difference between demands and requests? It's the way the person responds when it doesn't happen. So if I said, hey, can you get me a glass of water?
I'm like, no.
And she's like, no, I can't do that right now. I've got to finish this thing. I'll go like, I told you I need some water. What's your problem?
That's a demand.
Was I making a request, or was I actually demanding because I got upset about it?
Right.
I was making a demand. In which case, if you're making demands of your soldier and you don't have agreements that this is your job, this is my job, why wouldn't there be resistance? Why wouldn't there be? I almost see it the other way. Like, it only makes sense. He'd be like, I ain't doing that shit. I don't agree. But if you go like, babe, I'll do this part, you do this part. We both got a job to do to be there for each other. Now you guys are able to be a team again instead of just making an assumption, a demand, or just having an expectation. That's going to be tough. Mm-hmm. So she says, babe, please don't leave your boots by the bed. I nearly broke my neck. I don't know. I'd say that goes two ways. That's, hey, try to be aware of where the boots are and then make an agreement. Because even if you say, please don't make... Okay, I'll give you an example. You did a good job. This is Tessie or Tissy? Tissy 410.
Thank you for sharing.
And thank you for being a part of this. Okay. Please don't leave your boots by the bed. Is that an agreement? Or if he leaves his boots by the bed because you almost tripped and you got pissed off because he left the boots there again. If he didn't agree, I agree with you, babe. I shouldn't put my boots here. I will make sure I do effort to not put my boots there. If you guys have an agreement and he doesn't do it, that's different. Look at you.
That's so fun.
If you guys aren't working for agreements, if you guys are actually just making a demand because you got mad at him for putting his boots there, but he didn't agree otherwise, you're making demands and having expectations that are not agreements. This can't work. It won't work for either of you. It won't work for him, won't work for you.
What if we had an agreement but he still doesn't do it?
Well, then you guys are in a very different level of communication for compromise. Because now you start getting into like, well, what do we want out of this? Because are we really reciprocating what each other needs? Yeah. If we can't even be loyal to our agreements to each other, what's going on here? And I would say with him, what's going on with you, that you can't fulfill your promises? Or it's not even necessarily that you can't fulfill it. Are you making effort to fulfill promises? Because we're not perfect. Sometimes we fuck up. And we have to give each other grace for mistakes. But if someone's making no effort, that's very different than sometimes I forget.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a good one. We talked about this the last live. My wife went through my phone and saw conversations. Now she's accusing me of cheating in her mind.
Oh, that's imaginary. That's tough. So 2 things here, and this goes for both ways. This is for all you people who like to go through phones. Something you may not like to hear. If you go through someone's stuff without them knowing it, I don't care who it is, if you go through somebody's stuff without them knowing it, you're violating their trust. And so if I go through all of your things without talking to you and then say you're bad, I'm also being dishonest. If you want to do this in a healthy way and you feel like something's not right, your intuition's going off or your instinct is going off saying something's wrong, if I said, babe, I'm going to tell you right now, inside of me, I know I'm making myself be crazy. I know that I feel crazy. Can you reassure me that we're okay and like go through your phone together? Like just open your phone, you and me, and just show me I'm not crazy. Let's go through the messages and just show me I'm not nuts.
Absolutely.
We don't plan Tuesday at 7.
No.
We plan like in the moment, like, hey, I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. Can you show me I'm not crazy? Like, show me your photos or show me your messages and reassure me that I'm not crazy.
And
if you have somebody who says, I will not give you trust, I will not give you reassurance, and I will not show you that we're okay. Because she can go through my stuff right now. I can go through her stuff.
We have each other's
She's got
passwords.
my passwords. I don't care.
Yeah, for
because I'm not hiding, and she's not hiding. And so if somebody's doing what looks like shady stuff, and you're asking for reassurance that we are in a healthy and safe relationship, and that person will not reciprocate that we are, this opens up your choice. Are your needs being met? And are your values being respected? And this goes both ways. If you go through someone's stuff, are you respecting their values and are you respecting their stuff? If you do this wrong, you are violating them just as much as they're violating you. So you're both kind of being shitty to each other. Now it just turns into who blames the hardest. Nobody wins. And zero winners.
Usually if there's a lot of, depending on how you ask it, but if you're asking, the way that you would want to be asked to go through someone's phone or to have them show you something, and if they get defensive or they will not, absolutely not allow it, you need to ask more questions.
Old photos over the conversation. All right. You don't want to do that. He demands my phone and he flips out over old photos and conversations. If the old, let's just be real. This is the specific words matter here. If I told you a story about yesterday when I was younger, that's true because I don't have any stories about when I was older than I am right now. So every photograph ever taken is an old photo because none of them are from the future. So all photos are old photos. Now specifically, are these photos from before you met?
Good night, Arthur.
Good night, Arthur. Good night, man. If these photos are from before you ever met each other, there's two things. What are we holding on to those ones for? Because is there certain value to them? That's the first thing. And let's be real, like if you don't think about going through and just deleting old shit because it's old shit, that's one thing. And then it turns into a request like, hey babe, if this stuff was from before me and it's not serving you, is it fair to say, like, let's get rid of the stuff that's not serving you or serving us? And have the agreement, like, yeah, that's fair. Like, I don't need old penis pictures, or I don't need old booby pictures, or whatever it is from before I ever knew you. Okay, then you work that one out. If that person's like, no, I love these old penis pictures, then, like, how does that serve both of you? If you're looking at, like, you're keeping your ex's naked photos, how does it serve you guys? So one aspect of it is does it serve you, and, like, can we compromise or agree that this isn't going to help us? I think the other side really is, like, sometimes you don't think about that stuff, and, like, can we do it? Like, just get rid of that stuff for me. Right. Is that fair?
Right.
I think it's fair on both sides.
I agree.
I think it's fair on both sides to
Absolutely.
say those don't serve me anymore. So as far as that goes, like, if you got old photos, if they're from way before you two, just see if it doesn't serve you anymore to keep them. But don't pick a fight over old shit. It's from before you. You slept with people before you met them. Who are you to be a jerk about it? Just have some grace with each other and accept each other for where you're going, not for who you were. My mother-in-law hates me. She's telling the community I'm a terrible person. How do I fix it? With that much information, be a better person.
What if she isn't comfortable with us going through it?
With that information, be a better person, buddy. Try harder to be nice. What if she isn't comfortable with us going through it? Yeah. Well, then you guys are having a trust issue. Yeah. Remember, trust is number one. Without trust, what are you working with? You just have a sex relationship? It's not communication. You guys aren't trusting each other, so you're probably lying one way or the other. Yeah. What is it? Is it respect? Well, she doesn't respect you, and you don't feel respected, so it's not respect you guys have. What do you have if you can't trust each other? Like, honestly, I'm very open to hear what's a better thing that you need without trust. Like, what do you need without it? What do you have, I guess? I'm open to hear a better way. Maybe I'll learn. I'm open for it.
How do you show my kids that their mother is a narcissist?
Nope.
You don't.
You don't.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. They'll figure it out. Don't do that.
Kids are very smart.
You just be good to the kids.
Yep. Yep.
Ugh, that's a shit show. That's a deep one. You can't get into that here. Don't hurt the kids, though. Leave the kids out of that stuff. You just reassure, encourage, and love those kids the best that you can, and don't try and turn them against mom, no matter how crazy it is, because they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You just keep loving on them.
We appreciate you guys too. How to deal with parents' narcissistic patterns, or parents? Oh my gosh, parents. Maybe just touch on that, the narcissist thing. We've talked about it a couple of times, but
I think people use narcissists way too much. Even if somebody's just being like, hey, here's what I think is best, you're like, oh, it's all about you, you're a narcissist. People label narcissist incorrectly. You want some insight again? We're all narcissists. All of us. By the way that people are throwing around this stuff, everyone's a narcissist. You know why? We all do selfish stuff. All of us. I work out because it makes me feel good. I do that for me. I don't do it for her. I do it because I like to feel good. I feel good when I work out. She wears makeup because it makes her feel good. I don't demand her to wear makeup. She likes how it looks and how that is. She dyes her hair. She likes how that looks.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be gray. So
there's nothing wrong with going gray. All right. So when people start saying because people do self-serving things or they want things their way, that they're narcissists, it's a little bit different than that for a real narcissist. Narcissists are, gosh, what's an easier term for narcissist? Somebody who will literally suck the life out of you. They will just take and take, and what they do is they manipulate the situation to feel like they're going to fill your cup while they're draining your cup. They take and they take and they take while offering you a carrot just out of reach. And then when you finally are out of being able to give anymore, you don't have any more to give because they've taken everything. They look at you and they say, "That's it? That's all you had? No wonder you couldn't get the carrot. You didn't have enough." And they make you feel like a shell of a human being as they go and they start holding a carrot in front of another person right in front of you. Those people fall under narcissists. They only blame everybody for what's happened to them. Nothing's ever accountable for them. Everyone has done things to take from them, and everybody's always trying to mess with their lives as they actively destroy others. That falls under more narcissistic behavior where they just destroy everyone around them and it's their own fault for being destroyed. I don't know if parents are necessarily in that position to do that. They can just make your life annoying, but they can't have narcissistic destruction. And so just because she wears makeup and I work out, and that would be considered selfish, we're not narcissists because we give and we take. It's reciprocal. I get things from her. She gets things from me. We both grow, and there's a give and take that makes us both get things that we can't get on our own. That's not narcissism just because I work out and she wears makeup, even though that's selfish. We're all selfish, and that's okay. If you get your hair dyed, you're not a narcissist. But if you're trying to take from everyone, it starts falling into that category. People who don't take accountability, people who appear to have sociopathic behaviors, which means they do things without regret. I don't care who it hurts, I want it. Now it starts falling into a little bit more of that category. So just be careful when you start diagnosing everybody as a narcissist and stamping on their forehead, "You're selfish, you're a narcissist." It's most likely clinically not true. It's a very low amount of people who do this, but they do exist. And there are narcissists. It's just not this majority everybody's painting it out to be. You describe my mother and older brother. Most likely. It's one of those family curses sometimes.
Yeah. Is it normal for my partner to question, I missed it, but to question how much they love me after a honeymoon?
To question how much they love me after a honeymoon? I don't know. I think that taking an inventory on your guys' relationship is a healthy thing to see, am I doing well? Are they doing well? Is there more I can grow through? Or what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? I feel like there's nothing wrong with really going is this good or bad? Now, if you're adding in toxic stuff to go oh, well, this was a big mistake and I should have been with my ex or something like
after
that.
the honeymoon phase is over.
Yeah, if they're adding in toxic questions and toxic behaviors, that's a very different thing. But if someone's going all right, where are we at here? Are we doing better, worse? What do I need? What do you need? And constantly kind of taking an evaluation of the dynamic, that's pretty healthy. I think that if you do it the right way without adding in poison, it can be pretty good.
Yeah.
Opinions on polyamory. Truth be told, I don't believe it really works long term. it always kind of creates issues. And I see a lot of people kind of make the mistake of thinking that this new adventure of being with multiple people is somehow going to fulfill the relationship or cure things. For the most part, I've known some people who made it work for a while, but I know very, very, very few people who were in polyamorous relationships that it worked out. It's like a time bomb. It's a party for a while, but eventually everything falls apart or blows up. So I think that it's kind of like putting band-aids on bullet wounds when you think that having sex with a different person in front of your wife or your husband is going to cure your relationship. Not likely, but there are some people who have that type of fetishes and stuff like this where they just love it, and I think that's a very low percentage. So if you're just a regular couple who's wanting to be adventurous, just get divorced and be with other people without hurting that other person. Because if you're trying to convince somebody to go against their values, you're just going to hurt them, and it's not going to work anyways. So I don't think polyamory is the best way to go. It's a very, very tiny percentage of people that it works with, and there's a lot of rules that people break to make it not work. So it's a dangerous game. It's a very dangerous game. You're juggling fire at that time.
My husband's love language is words of affirmation. How do I do that? I'm struggling.
Well, what's the barrier to be able to say nice things? I mean, there's a roadblock. If I was going to say you look beautiful today, but I can't say it, what is my reason? Is it ego? Is it pride? Like, what's in the way for me to go, you look beautiful today? By the way,
thank you.
You do. You look beautiful today. You look beautiful. So what is the thing? What's in the way? But for real though, you look good. You're so pretty.
I love you. Gosh. You're the best.
So what's in the way? What's in the way for you to say, I appreciate you, or that was awesome, I got a good man? What's in the way? What's holding you back from being able to say kindness to somebody? It's not them. It's only you. So what is it?
Husband still works with coworkers he had an emotional affair with. Is it possible to move forward?
I didn't hear what it is. He has coworker. He was
had an emotional affair with a coworker.
An emotional affair with a coworker. For what?
I don't know.
Find out what it was. Like, there was something that he didn't feel like he was getting from you. This doesn't mean you're not good enough. It's just something you didn't know he needed, and maybe he didn't know he needed. And this may have surprised him that one of his unmet needs was being met by a stranger, and that confused him or even excited him. And then you kind of figure out, like, hey, am I able to do that thing, or is that not me at all, or what do you need? Because odds are you guys have no idea what each other's values or needs are. You guys are just trying to make through. Flirting and texting. Find out what it was. What is he getting from it that you're not getting? Work wife. These are dangerous games. These are very dangerous games. You got a work husband?
Yeah.
Dangerous game.
No.
Dangerous. Yeah, King, we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's work on this one. So I think this is all dangerous games. Whenever anybody's expressing some of these behaviors, it's usually unmet needs. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the person they're with that's not good enough. It just means that maybe something they don't know, or they're trying to figure things out, and people are quick to judge. But find out what it is first before you realize if you guys are able to work it out or not. But if you don't know what you're working on, how do you fix it? The first step to solving any problem is acknowledging that there is one without blame, shame, and judgment.
Yeah.
What is it?
Someone asked, do you believe it's a good idea to be best friends with your ex?
No, I do not think that's a good idea. Golden rule. Do you want the other person that you're with to be best friends with their ex all of a sudden, or stay or become best friends with your ex? It's a person you used to sleep with, a person you used to love, a person you used to care about. And then you want that person around whenever you guys have a fight or a bad day to be the shoulder they go cry on? Again, you're juggling fire. And you're juggling fire, man.
It's different when you have kids, but there has to be boundaries.
When it's the kid's mom. Listen, I'm going to try and make it, because she's got her ex. There's 3 kids involved. We got 3 kids. That's a business arrangement after a divorce. If the kids weren't involved, you guys shouldn't be really like sharing and opening up with that person. If so, the amount of uncertainty that it creates for your current relationship, because remember, people need to feel that they're in a safe and secure place with the person they're with. That's what loyalty and respect and the healthy boundaries are. And if the person who you used to make kids with and you spent time with and you were in love with is the person you share and spend all your time with, you're just causing pain. You're just hurting somebody. Yeah. I don't think it's a good idea. It's not a good idea. Your best friend shouldn't be your ex-lover. It just makes the new person live in hell. You have 2 kids. And again,
goes back to the golden rule.
Golden rule. Yeah. If you don't want them hanging out with their ex, like, that's fine. But if you've got an ex with kids, it's a business relationship out of respect for the new person who loves you. It's not a personal love relationship. It's business. And whatever it is with the kids, it's all kid related only, not open up my heart and cry on your shoulder. It's a terrible idea. All right, King, I see you just spamming this thing. She says she's not comfortable with me saying her photos, videos. Some part in her in the past. Some parts of her in the past. Well, all right, let me just, King, I'll tell you right now, bro. I'm just going to say, if you were my guy, you and me are working together, what are your primary values? Like, what are the things that are important to you? And then what are your needs from love? What are your needs in a relationship? Is it loyalty? Is it honesty? Is it openness? Is it trust? What are the things that in a relationship you cannot negotiate? Like, these have to be there for me to be solid in my relationship. If being able to know that she's not trying to keep all of her ex's shit so she can go back through her memories of who she was and not grow from or learn from those experiences, but hold on to them super tight. Does that match your values? Does that match your needs? And if openness and trust, like you said, are your main values, and this person says, I don't care. I'm going to keep secrets, and I'm going to not give you trust and honesty. What are you investing in then? Let me just ask you, do you think it gets better? Do you think if you reward the behavior that they now will come around and just do what you wanted, even though they've been rewarded for doing what they wanted? If there's no agreement, and there's no compromise, and there's no understanding with each other, where does that go? You're in a choice, man. You're in a choice. Stay with someone who doesn't respect your values, or go find someone who will respect your values. That's your choice. Simple, not easy. I don't know how much you guys have invested in each other, but simplicity isn't easy. It can be really difficult. You may have to uproot everything or move out or change a lot of stuff. But if you're with somebody who's never going to appreciate you or not appreciate your values or reciprocate what you need in love, how many more years do you want to stick around? It's a heavy one, man. It's not easy. Don't get me. That's hard as hell. Hey,
11 years,
either there's compromise and there's understanding, or how many more years do you want to pump into this thing? That's your choice, man. Not fun, but that's it. That's what it is. If there's kids involved, you're going to have to work out what it is. If they don't want to compromise and there's kids involved, do you think it's healthy for your kids to see 2 people who hate each other in the same room? Do you really think 2 people who don't respect each other and don't love each other appropriately, being kids around, do you think that they do what we say and not what we do? It's the opposite. All right. How you feeling, baby?
Good.
You feel good? How long have we been doing this?
2 hours.
This is 2 hours.
The time flew.
Time flies on this one.
Yeah.
Here's what we hope. This was a lot of stuff. And if you watch this again, or if you go through this again, the amount of information in this that can make your life better is worth literally tens of thousands of dollars in this conversation. And I have seen people who have offered less in trainings than we've done in this live right now. And I'm not being sarcastic. I mean, realistically, we've given tools and tips to make it so you have a damn chance in the next argument. Take the stuff that we've given you, use it to the best of your ability. Some of you guys, some of you guys out there, if you're like, I need more tools to be able to do my job better, those are the guys who book an appointment with me. We talk one-on-one and we work on your actual things, not just the generalized, but your real life. Those guys reach out. We're booked up. It says you can rewatch. Is there a way to rewatch these things? Shut up. Can we repost them or something? What do we do?
So someone said, we're so new to TikTok, you guys, so we don't know what we're doing. Someone's like, I hate when there's a part 2 tag. We're like, because we don't know how to do it. So we're still learning. But I know that you guys can't rewatch the live. I was going to tell you.
You can't rewatch these.
No, we can download them, but we can't. No, maybe we'll post them up on YouTube. We can do that. I think.
We can. Okay.
I think so.
We can download these and put them on YouTube.
We don't know what we're doing. Yeah, I think we'll give it a shot.
What's the solution?
Yeah. So we'll try to do that, and we'll make sure that people are able to repost.
Yeah.
Because I think you can share our videos, but you're saying that you can't repost them. I know that's probably 2 different things, right?
I don't know.
We already have a YouTube channel.
It's under the Everything is a Choice.
Yep.
I am converting everything. Everything is a Choice is the book that I've got, and it's the philosophy that we still operate under. It's not what happens, it's how you handle it. Yeah. But the Warrior's Way is to really help guys who are going through the hardest fight and the hardest opponent who they have to fight, which is you versus you. This thing affects everything and everything. And if you have to fight the stuff inside of your mind, that's the hardest battle you're going to have to do. And we're not given the tools or the training to do that. And that's what I do. So we're changing everything from EIC, or Everything is a Choice, over to the Warrior's Way. And it's just far more authentic to what it is that we really do. So you're going to see Everything is a Choice on our old stuff. And we'll be converting that in the next few months into the Warrior's Way. So thanks for being a part of that transformation and that evolution and that journey. And so that's what's going to be happening with that. But you can find that on the Everything is a Choice channel. The podcast that I put up a bunch of episodes, which we will make more in the future, is called The Choice. It's on Spotify or Anchor or whatever you use. But jump into some of that stuff or subscribe to things. We're going to keep growing and expanding and doing more. Once we figure out how to save this damn video, I'll post it on the YouTube. You guys can go back over it. Grab the thing that you're worked on right now, because you are at one of the stages that we went through. Grab that tool, especially the write it down and listen how they talk thing. It'll change your whole arguments.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is $1 million advice, and now we have to figure out how to repost it.
Yes. And so
challenges everywhere.
Absolutely. And so I saw a couple comments. If you're a guy that likes what you're hearing, you can click on the link at the top of the bio and schedule an appointment with this guy. And I guarantee it'll be the 45 minutes that you will be blown away.
It's pretty good stuff. Our classes are filling up, so do your best to try to get it.
It's his gift for sure.
All right, we love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Some of you have been here for a while.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys
truly
so much.
appreciate you guys. Our goal right now is just to give and serve you. We hope that we've done justice in that department, because we've given a lot today, and I really, really hope that it is. What's the name again? Everything is a Choice. The name that is going to is The Warrior's Way. That is for men, but it does help women out also.
Yeah, absolutely. And eventually we'll have a page at the top where we'll have all the information. We're still working on that.
Yeah, good looking out. And let me just, one more thing before I go. All of you in the comments who look out for each other,
love it,
and try and stop the people who selfishly make it all about them, or the people who are going against the golden rule. Thank you for being a voice of reason for the people who try to make things unreasonable.
Yeah.
It's good for all of us.
Yes.
It's good for everybody to find a balanced answer. Linda, I don't even know what happened, but we appreciate you.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to helping you and Omar just get stronger. You guys have a lot of stuff we got to unpack, but we're going to get there. I'm talking to him on the 8th. I would love you to be there. I'm looking forward to talking with both of you.
Yes, be there if you can. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, she should be there, so I'm excited for that.
Perfect.
But thank you guys. We're going to get out of here. Let's go do
have a great
thing.
night. Thanks, you guys.
All right, I love you.
Love you too.
I love you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Good night.